Hello, everybody. I hope that you had a good and restful weekend. I have heard from a few of you that the assignment you had due Saturday night, I think is the day, was helpful to you all, and I'm excited to read those. I haven't gotten a chance to read all of them, but I have read a few, and I can tell that it's been an experience for you. I hope that it's been a good experience for all of you. So today I just want to kind of cover a topic that is required for us to talk about, and that is ACT and your GPA and why they matter. So I encourage you guys to begin looking at the colleges you are wanting to attend. So for instance, Harding, in order to get into Harding, you have to have a 19 minimum ACT for admissions and a minimum GPA of 3.0. And for Arkansas State University, you have to have a minimum of 21 ACT score and a minimum GPA of 2.75. University of Central Arkansas, minimum ACT of 21, minimum GPA of 2.75. University of Arkansas, ACT 20, GPA 3.0. And then for ASU-BB, there are no minimum requirements for either. But I don't know if any of you have begun taking the ACT or not, and I do think that many of you have gone to the ACT camp, or the Tuesday evenings that Mr. Scott hosts that Miss Hawkins teaches. I know that several of you have gone to that, and I just encourage you to continue going to that. And also, Upward Bound will provide you with material to study to help you succeed in taking the ACT test and getting the score that you're wanting, because not only does an ACT score and your GPA get you into a college based on admissions, but also it will help you whenever you begin applying for scholarships. So, why does your ACT and GPA matter? Most college grant scholarships to incoming freshmen are based on ACT scores and GPA scores. Not GPA scores, but GPAs. And college grants and college scholarships is money that you are gifted that you don't have to pay back in return. So this is money that's just given to you based on your scores, based on your hard work, and you don't have to ever repay that, which one day you will understand the importance of. I think you already understand the importance of that. Okay, so if you were to attend Harding and you had an ACT score of a 19, there are no automatic scholarships. However, if you score 25, which is 6 points higher, you would receive $7,000 per year, which is 34% of tuition and fees. And then if you were to score a 30 on your ACT, you would be receiving $9,000 per year, which is 43% of tuition and fees. If you score a 25 on your ACT, you would receive in-state tuition paid for at ASU-BB and $6,720 a year plus housing allowance at ASU, Arkansas State University. And if you were to score a 30 on your ACT score for ASU, you would get $9,220 a year plus housing allowance, which is 100% of tuition and fees. And then if you were to go to ASU-BB and score an ACT score of 30, you would be getting paid to go to college because it would pay for your in-state tuition plus $500 a year. So ACT scores are important, and it is something that you all are capable of preparing for, and you are provided with many means to prepare for that, to be successful in scoring what you want to score on the ACT. So Some colleges will require you to take remedial courses if your sub scores are not up to par. This can be better than not being admitted to a university at all. However, remedial courses also cost money to take. So if you enter into Harding with a English ACT score equal to or below 18, you will have to take English 100 before you're able to take English 111, which is a general education that is required to graduate. So, and it's a 3-hour course. So if it's a 50-minute class, that would be 3 days a week you would be going, in addition to then having to take English 111 as well. So a 3-credit course costs approximately $623 an hour, so that times 3 is $1,869 on a class you could possibly avoid if you get your English sub-score up 1. If the required minimum ACT score is a 19 and you make an 18. So those are just, I know that that's tedious and maybe excessive information, but it is something to take into consideration that as you prepare for your ACT score, that this does matter. In the preparation that you put into it, you will see the rewards from it in many different ways. So why does your ACT and your GPA matter in regard to scholarship applications? Your ACT and GPA are very important when it comes to applying for scholarships. Many of the merit-based scholarships require a minimum ACT and GPA to even apply for them. The higher the scores you make, the more competitive your application is as well. So just some tips for success on the ACT. Again, preparation. You guys know that is important. And there are practice tests that you can take that just really help you to become familiar with the setup of the ACT. Also timing. I know for me, whenever I take a test and I'm timed, there's this pressure that I place on myself that I can become kind of anxious and angsty about there being a time limit, and then I'm not clear-minded to be able to devote myself to the test that I'm taking. So again, just taking a practice test will help you in timing as well as familiarize you with the test. So also it helps you understand your strengths and weaknesses. So if you score on your practice test a 32 in math, but you score an 18 in English, you might devote more time to studying for English than math, because that is a strength of you. English is a weakness, whereas math is a strength. Once you have an idea of your strengths and weaknesses, then work on them. Focus primarily on your weaknesses. However, don't neglect math. Continue to look over that and review it occasionally, but spend more of your energy on English where it needs to be spent. Come to the ACT test prep that Upward Bound hosts and get a practice book to work over, which Upward Bound also can allow you to check those books out. So make sure that you take a number 2 pencil with good erasers. Take your ACT admission ticket, so once you apply, they'll say to print that out, take that with you, as well as your driver's license or your student ID card, some form of identification. Take an approved calculator, and then you can take a snack or a bottle of water for your break, just in case you get a little hungry during your test. And also, get a good night's rest before your test. Don't stay up really early into the morning of that test and then go and be exhausted while you're taking it, because that just clouds your thinking. Eat a good breakfast if you're able to. Whenever I get nervous for things, I am not able to eat, so eating is not required, certainly, if that would be worse for you than eating a big breakfast. Sometimes the test room is freezing, sometimes it's really hot, so take a kind of layer maybe and so you're able to take the jacket off if you need to, or put the jacket on if it's cold. But that just gives you options. So for the test itself, make sure that you underline keywords in a question to help you understand what it's asking. If you're having trouble with the question, try to narrow it down to 2 answer choices. Usually 2 of them are easily eliminated, and then the other 2 you can spend more time deciding between. Don't be afraid to skip a question and come back to it if you need to. Don't lose points from an easy question by getting stuck on the hard ones. So go through and answer all the ones that you can, and then whenever you have all of the time left that you have, go back and begin working through the hard ones. Stay focused and don't get distracted by the clock or the people around you, because that happens, speaking from experience. And you're not penalized for guessing. So answer every question. Make sure you answer every question. If you're almost out of time on a section and have a lot of questions left, I usually would take and fill the rest of them in as A, or fill the rest of them in as B or C, but make sure, don't randomly guess, because you're more likely to get a straight line, more of those correct, than randomly choosing. If you have extra time, go back and check your work. So tips for a successful GPA: take advantage of the resources you have, upward bound tutoring, internet, practice problems. Khan Academy is amazing, and give your teachers the opportunity to help you. Go to class and pay attention, be organized, and don't forget to study. Remember the studying skills that we talked about. I know a lot of you said that time management is difficult and you like to study the night before or the morning of, and that doesn't work. You don't retain that information, so you might do well on the test, but then at the end of a semester you have a review of the semester and you don't get it. It's because we think that studying quickly we will do better. I don't know, we just don't give enough time to studying. And you guys just wrote an entire paper over what you plan to implement into your next semester. So I hope that that is something you can do. So if things aren't going so well, improve yourself in other areas. So if you have maybe not the best GPA, then do extra ACT prep and do really well on the ACT. And if you don't have the best ACT score, make it up in really awesome application essays. It's not too early to start talking to Mr. Scott, to talk to your teachers, to see how we can help you to succeed in the way that you are wanting to. Again, you have 2 years before you graduate high school, and you have the rest of the summer and all of junior year to be studying and taking your ACT and raising your GPA if that's needed. So just know that it's never too late, and you get to start today in preparing for your future. You guys are all very capable, and I just want you to hear me say that I am proud of each one of you for working hard and dedicating yourself in the way that you do to school and to your future. So I will see you guys on Friday in class, and then we will discuss any questions you have, as well as what we will be doing next. All right, thank you guys.